Arsenal women are the 2025 Champions League winners. I'm outside the Jose Alvalade Stadium. I probably said that wrong, and I still remain lost for words. I don't quite know how this video is going to come across. I don't know how long it's going to be, but me and Izzy stood here yesterday, and I nearly said at the end, well, you know, come back and see us tomorrow when we're Champions League winners. Well, if you come back to see us today, Arsenal are Champions League winners. It's quite unbelievable. I've just heard from Kim Little, spoke to Renee Slagers as well. She spoke about how she had lunch with Vic Akers this week, and how Emma Hayes also gave her a bit of help on the phone about beating Barcelona. But I've got to talk about Renee first, because I just think it's one of the greatest managerial achievements to go in, you know, as almost a second assistant coach to Jonas Eidevall, watch Arsenal struggle through qualifying, watch them have the bad start to the season, watch the crowd turn on Jonas Eidevall, him resigning, Renee very much steadying the ship, deciding after a few games, you know what, I could do this permanently, keeping us all guessing for months about whether she would want to do it permanently, winning fans over. The moment really was that Bayern Munich game, the win in December, the last game before the winter break, but I think every fan said, you know what, I think there's enough difference between Renee Slagers and Jonas Eidevall for us to want Renee Slagers to be the new Arsenal manager. And well, Arsenal took their time over the decision, didn't they? But what a decision they have made. Two managers have won the Champions League of Arsenal women, Vic Akers and Renee Slagers. Two players have scored in Champions League finals for Arsenal women, Alex Scott and Stina Blackstenius. Arsenal's two wins in Champions League finals both finished 1-0 to the Arsenal. There's a lot to like about that, in my opinion, and this is a glorious day for this football club. The men's team, you know, we don't have to remind you about maybe where it's not gone well for the men's team in this competition. The women have won it twice now. No other women's side, you know, your Chelsea's, your City's, United, whoever, none of them have won the Champions League. And Arsenal fans sing about that a lot, but they sing about it, you know, a lot of those fans have come in post-Euros potentially, or if not a bit before, a real new generation of Arsenal fans who've grown up singing about that glory of 2007, reading about it, you know, doing their research on it, hearing all about it. And for those who've watched it, whether they were at the Emirates, whether they were at home, or wherever, like me, they were lucky enough to be out here in Lisbon, they have witnessed history tonight, and it was an absolute pleasure to be here and cover, and Arsenal have absolutely nailed it. They've gone and played the best team in the world, Barcelona. You know, when you see that lineup, you read through the players, they just have so many ways of hurting Arsenal, and I'm sure if you go to the Spanish press, there'll be valid criticism of them, because Barcelona were off it today. But when Barcelona players are pinging in shots out of desperation from 30 yards, 40 yards even in the second half, that's what we sort of expected from Arsenal in this game. And Arsenal created chances, you know, sort of half an hour in, they created 4 shots to Barcelona's 2. By an hour, it was 14 shots for Barcelona to Arsenal's 4. You know, Barca came out after half-time and they were just as strong as we sort of expected, but they never made that breakthrough. Daphne van Domselaar not massively tested in the full 90 minutes. She still wasn't able to take goal kicks. Leah Williamson was stepping up to take goal kicks. But Arsenal's defensive effort, for a team, you know, we know the factors behind some of the goals conceded at the end of the season in the WSL, but to do that against Barcelona, you know, the blocks, the challenges, the tackles that were flying in, Katie McKay putting in a shift, Steph Catley I thought was outstanding, Leah Williamson out of this world. You know, we know Leah Williamson can be this good on her day, and you know, she's brought her big game today on the biggest stage in the Champions League final. And Emily Fox as well, you know, kept getting up and down. You move into midfield, Kim Little, the second Arsenal captain to win the Champions League final. She joined Arsenal in 2008. She's been through it. She's seen it all. She's seen women's football transformed, and she's now taken Arsenal to Champions League glory. She's only got a year left on her contract. Renee Slagers has only got a year left on her contract, which just seems crazy. And yeah, there's just so many more. But Stina Blackstenius, you know, I've been one of her biggest critics this season, but that's exactly what she's there for. It was a tough game for Alessia Russo. You bring Blackstenius on, she opens the game up, she runs in behind, and what a combination. Renee brings Beth Mead, Stina Blackstenius on. There's a couple of coaches beep at each other. And the composure from Mead, you know, another player who's been through so much, to just lay the ball off into Blackstenius. It's such a good finish. We also expected VAR to come after that first half heartbreak, and it never did. And Arsenal was so good at how they saw out the game. The amount of effort, you know, it was 28 degrees when we kicked off in Lisbon. And now Arsenal, however they choose to celebrate, however you all choose to celebrate, wherever you are, if you're here at the ground, if you're going out in Lisbon, if you're at home, if you're at the Emirates, just enjoy yourselves, because you don't get many nights like this. And Arsenal have built this fan base. They've built it up over these last few years. They've had the sellouts at the Emirates. This really organic, this natural fan culture has built up. And it was a pleasure really to be there in Pink Street in Lisbon earlier, watching them all, and going out tonight as well, enjoying themselves. It's just, you know, Arsenal have done so well off the pitch. They've done so well off the pitch, and tonight they have won the ultimate prize on it. And yeah, this feels like a massive stepping stone. And Rene rightly said there's much more to come, because when you've won the Champions League, there's going to be much more to come. They've beaten Barcelona, Stina Blackstenius is the scorer, Kim Little and Leah Williamson lifted the trophy, and then North London forever in front of the away fans. I'll never forget this. It's been an absolute privilege. I mean, I've covered this club for a while now. People, you know, Tim Stillman had a tear in his eye. I think I had a tear in my eye by the end. Izzy was next to me. Susie pitchside, I haven't caught up with her. But people have done this for a lot longer than I have. But, you know, you get sucked in covering this club and covering Arsenal. You have the long trips to Everton and, you know, St Helens on a Friday night. You think, what's the point? And goodness me, this is it. Yeah, I'm struggling for words still. We'll have our usual coverage to come over the next week. I'm on holiday, so I'm sort of missing this trophy presentation on Monday, but goodness me, I'll enjoy my holiday. Now, I'll stop rambling on, but for all of you who've engaged with our coverage this season, thank you all, and we will speak again soon, I'm very sure. But look, full time, Arsenal 1, Barcelona 0.